Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Aiden. This episode 3828 AM. Today's date is January 28th, 2026, and the title of the episode is Federal Reserve Note is Weakening. Do you see it? Trump is 5 moves ahead of the central bank. Hey, let's talk about our health. It's a new year now, and if you're over the age of 30, you're officially in a collagen deficit. According to the latest dermatological data, our bodies produce about 1% less collagen every single year once we hit our 30s. By the time you notice the fine lines and loss of bounce in your skin, you've already lost a significant portion of collagen. The good news is that you can refill the tank and reduce wrinkle volume by up to 46% in as little as 6 weeks. This is why I use a step above collagen substance, and it's become a non-negotiable part of my daily routine. It provides 5 premium types of collagen, even the rare ones, which are essential for reversing decades of loss. It's flavorless, clump-free, and specifically designed to be highly bioavailable, so those collagen peptides actually reach your cells and start the rebuilding process. Since starting, I've noticed smoother skin, more elasticity, more hydration, and less fine lines. To celebrate the new year, they currently have a 51% off promotion for Ageless Multi-Collagen only at healthwithx22.com. Plus, every order for a limited time comes with a free VIP life health and fitness coaching for life, a free ebook titled The 14 Foods for Amazing Skin, a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, and free express shipping with your order. Once again, the site is healthwithx22.com. Get yours now, or just click the link in the description. Let's get right into the economic collapse financial news. Now, the deep state, the corrupt politicians, the private West Central Bank, the World Economic Forum, you could see that Trump now is 5 moves ahead of all of them. And what's very interesting is that the deep state players, the central bankers, they're kind of trapped in what they've been trying to do. And remember, from the very, very beginning, when Biden, the Fed, Obama, when they gave Trump their terrible economy, it was actually in a recession, and they wanted to go into a deep depression, they thought that Trump wouldn't be able to take the economic system and reverse everything that they did. They thought they trapped him. And that's why the Fed was holding out with the interest rates, because, again, this was all part of their plan to basically destroy the economy. And they were waiting for a certain period of time, and it didn't work out. Trump started to call the Fed out, and he wanted them to lower the rates, and they resisted every step of the way. They're still resisting. As of right now, they decided to keep the rates unchanged, because what they've realized is that Trump, since he's been creating the parallel economic system, since he's bringing investments into this country, since jobs are coming back into this country, since he's building manufacturing, since the oil prices are coming down and gas is getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, and as technology is going to be produced here in this country, and Trump issued the gold card and is telling everyone he's going to be issuing a $2,000 dividend, getting rid of the income tax, the central bank, they're in trouble right now because their plans went down the tubes. And as of right now, you could see that the Federal Reserve note, it is weakening and weakening and weakening. And you have to ask the question, why is that? Because Trump is now setting the stage for what? He's setting the stage to move us to sound money, setting the stage to remove the central bank system. Remember, when you look at the piece of paper in your wallet, either $1, a $5 bill, $10 bill, doesn't matter what it is. Look at the top of the bill. What does it say? Does it say US dollar, or does it say Federal Reserve note? That is an instrument of debt. So how do we get that debt? Well, we have to borrow it from a banking system. So basically, the banking system is an open-end credit card. There's interest attached. So here's your instrument of debt. You don't own that currency because it comes from the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve owns that currency. They're letting you borrow that currency. They're allowing you to use it in the economy. And for that use, you have to pay interest on it. And you have a hidden tax, which is called inflation, which means it's that piece of paper continually devalues. Why do you think we can't produce the penny anymore? Because it costs a lot more than a penny to produce the penny. Is that a fantastic money system? Is that the system that we should have? The money loses value and you can't even produce the money? Think about it for a second. It doesn't even make sense. And Trump now is setting the stage to basically destroy and wipe out the central bank system. Actually, he's going to restructure it, and most likely it's going to go into the Treasury. And he's already setting everything up. I mean, do you see what's happening here? I mean, look at gold, look at silver. Look what's happening in this country. Everything now is changing, and everything that Trump is doing, he's reversing. everything that Biden/Obama plus the Fed and everyone else tried to do. They tried to destroy this economic system. Actually, if you look at Europe, they're still going down that path of destruction. Trump has reversed all of this, and the ship is turning. The ships don't turn on a dime. It takes a while for the ship to turn, but it is turning. And what do we see happening? Well, Peter Sayong says household wealth grew 12 trillion last year, 20 times faster than Biden. What drove it? Blockbuster economic growth, tax cuts and deregulation, American workers replacing foreigners, deportationing, opening blue-collar jobs at twice the pay. It is now happening. And when you look at all the different companies that are coming into this country and all the different companies that are deciding, you know something? I see the deregulation. I see the lower taxes. I see the lower energy costs. I see what Trump is doing. It is now time to make the move and build the factories in this country. And Trump announced that John Deere is building a $70 million factory in North Carolina. This is going to be the only excavator entirely made in the United States. And this is going to create 150 American jobs. So they're building a distribution center in Hebron, Indiana, and they're opening up a factory in North Carolina. And basically, you're going to see jobs being created all over the place. Remember, this is just one company that is doing this. We know we have multiple companies that are doing this. And actually, once the base is set, you're going to see more and more manufacturers come back to this country. But the other thing that's very interesting, and why we say Trump is 5 steps ahead of the central bank system, because he's already preparing for the next generation and the generation after that and the generation after that. And he's now going to help the younger generation in building their wealth. And this is what he says. For the first time ever, we're going to give every newborn American child a financial stake in the future, a head start at life, and a fair shot at the American dream. So what are we going to do? We're going to give the children $1,000, $1,000 contribution. And this is going to help the children over the years as they grow up. And this is going to compile over time. Now, think about what else this is going to do. Because when we remove the Federal Reserve and it's restructured into the Treasury, and we pay back the debt and the inflation, the cumulative inflation that we've been experiencing for a very long time, since 1971, we are now going to reverse everything. So the currency that the kids have, it's going to increase in value exponentially. So even if they say it's going to be $600,000 or it's going to be $1.8 million, think about what happens when the buying power comes back to the people of this country. The children are going to make out. And we're not even seeing it just coming from the United States government. Remember, this is going to happen because Trump is bringing in income from the outside. He's not going to borrow it. There's not going to be interest attached. We're not going to owe it back. This is income coming in to this country, just like a company produces a product, they sell the product, and they get income coming from it. The same thing is happening now. Other countries are selling products, and if you like to sell it here in our store, there's a fee. And these countries have to pay that fee. Is it then brought to the consumer level? No, it is not, because they eat the costs of all of this. So the people don't see this. This is why inflation hasn't been increasing. Remember, the inflation that everyone's experiencing right now, this was created from all the other administrations, especially Biden, when it shot up to 9.1%. Because each year, when you say, okay, this year 7%, this year 8%, this year 9%, this year 5%, this year 3%, you got to add those all together. That's the inflation. That's why when you go back to 1971, it's 3,000% inflation. You can use the example of someone who gained weight. Someone was 150 pounds. They gained 100 pounds. And then after that, they only gained 50, 20, 10, and then 5. Well, it's a new year, and we've all seen the headlines about Ozempic and similar miracle weight loss shots. But a major 2025 analysis just revealed that people who stop taking these injections regain an average of 60% of their weight within just 1 year. Most of the gain is pure fat, and the muscle lost during the treatment stays gone, leaving you with a crash metabolism and a body that's basically older than when you started. This is why I'm taking something way better called GLP-1, and I'm obsessed with the results I'm seeing in the mirror. It doesn't use needles to override my system. It uses plant-based, clinically studied ingredients like Metabolaid to help my body naturally boost its own hungry controlling signals. I get the same fullness and less cravings, but without the prescriptions, scary side effects, or metabolic rebound. This magical supplement supports my weight management goals while protecting my muscles, helping me keep the weight off for good. To celebrate the new year, it currently has a 50% off promotion for GLP-1 Elevate only at trimwithx22.com. Plus, every order for a limited time comes with a free 60-day satisfaction guarantee and free express shipping with subscriptions. Once again, the site is trimwithx22.com. Get yours now, or just click the link in the description. Well, how much do you weigh? You add all the numbers up. That's how much you weigh. The same thing with inflation. So the inflation that everyone's talking about was created by Biden, most of it that we're experiencing right now, but all the other administrations before this since 1971. And people are feeling the pain. This is why Trump is reversing everything. But look what the companies are doing. Bank of America is going to match $1,000 government deposit. So their employees are going to get this. Between January 1st, 2025 and December 31st, 2028, 165,000 U.S. employees, if they have children, the children are going to get a $1,000 contribution. They're going to match what Trump is doing. Steak and Shake is also going to do this. Steak and Shake pledges to support our employees' children with a $1,000 match to Trump accounts for every child born between 2025 and 2028. By funding tax advantage investment accounts for our employees' children, we are ensuring that the next generation of Americans participate from birth in our free market, wealth-building economy. Steak and Shake has benefited from our country's prosperity, and we are committed to giving back to our communities and our country. Steak and Shake is a Big Larry Holdings company. So right there, they're now on board. And I think this is going to happen throughout the many corporations in this country. And it's going to give the children a step up, which will allow the next generation and the generation after that to be very, very successful and have quite a bit of money. Something the central bankers never wanted. Something the central bankers really hate. And you could see Trump is rubbing it in their face. And think about it. When Trump removes the income tax, all that money is not going to be taxed. And when we get our buying power back, that money is going to be worth an incredible amount. Think about what this country is going to look like in the future. And think about what Trump is doing to set it all up. Gordon put this out and said, dollar collapsing, everyone panicking, Trump losing control, wrong. He orchestrated it. Here's why a weak dollar benefits America. U.S. exports become cheaper globally. Foreign buyers flood in for goods. Manufacturing comes back, competitive pricing. 36 trillion debt inflated away. China EU competitive advantage destroyed. Strong dollar equals America buys cheap foreign goods. Weak dollar equals world buys American goods. Trump isn't losing. He's winning a game you aren't even aware is being played. Like we said from the very beginning, he's 5 moves ahead of the central bank system. And what else does a weaker dollar do? Well, the U.S. dollar helps drive looser financial conditions, rate cuts, higher nominal GDP growth, higher asset prices, higher U.S. exports and lower trade deficit, easier debt servicing for the government. This is why Trump said the dollar is doing great. And you can see he's preparing the country. And this is something the deep state, the central bankers do not like. And what else does it do? Well, it allows metals to skyrocket. And is that what we're seeing? Absolutely. And basically, as we move forward, I do believe what Trump's mission is to get the metals to where he wants them. Remember, as of right now, they're valued at $42 an ounce. I'm talking about gold. And we see that gold now is over 5,000, silver is over 100, and I do believe these are going to start to skyrocket like we've never seen before. Because again, as everything starts to fall in place and we start to see the power of his economic system, you're going to see that people are going to start to experience it, and they're going to realize what's happening. Because you have to remember, when Trump came into office, the only thing people experienced was high fuel costs. People experienced high inflation, and Trump had to basically shut down the inflation, keep it at a pace where it's kind of steady. And that's what he's done. If you look at true inflation, inflation is very, very low right now. And after that, what Trump has to do is then start to bring down the fuel prices. Then he has to cap the credit cards. Then he has to give the people tax refunds, then give them a dividend check. So think about what he's doing right now. He's increasing your buying power every step of the way. I think the big one is when he says, okay, we're going to get rid of income tax. That is going to be huge going down the line. But every step of the way, the people are going to experience a system that is working for them, especially when wages are continually moving up and there are jobs that are continually opening up that have higher wages. When you start to put all this together, as we approach the summer, as we approach the midterms in the fall, you're going to see that people are going to be experiencing something very, very different what they experienced with Biden. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, why did it take so long? I don't think it's taken that long at all. I think he had to put the pieces together. He had to reverse everything that Biden/Obama and the Fed have done because they were destroying the entire economic system, which they're still trying to do. They haven't stopped trying, and they will continue to try to push this. But in the end, it's going to fail just like everything else. And when you really look at what the Fed is doing, and I think it's very, very clear when you look at it, and Ward Clark put this out, you could see we'll just go back to 2008, 2009, and before that. So in 2003 and 4, they raised the interest rates up to a certain point. It got close to like 5.2% or something like that. And then it leveled off for quite a while, and then they dropped it very, very quickly. And then we saw the recession in 2008, 2009. And if you go back in time, like the dot-com bubble, you see the same exact pattern. Now they brought the interest rates up to almost the same point that we saw the financial crisis in 2008, 9, 10, 11. And now the rates are coming down. Now, and you have to look at the rates. They brought them up very, very quickly, starting in like 2022. So when you look at this, you could see they were trying to do the same exact thing. And now the Fed decided that they're not going to raise rates at this point, even though that everything looks fantastic. They're doing this on purpose because they're trying to still crash the economic system. But the problem is they didn't realize that Trump was going to reverse everything so quickly within a year. And he did it very, very quickly. And now, since everything now is coming into fruition and the one big beautiful bill has been passed, now people are going to reap the benefits of all of this. And this is going to be a problem for the central bank system. And they know it. And they're trying to figure out what they need to do. And as you can see, the Fed, they decided to keep the rates even. Now, Trump, he is already letting everyone know, as soon as May comes around, he's going to be getting rid of Jerome Powell. Now, think about this for a second. Once he puts in the Fed chair that he wants, you're going to see rates come down massively, which means the economy is going to start to really take off. I mean, think about the housing market. Think about 1%, 0.5%, 1.5%. Think about how low that is. People are going to be able to purchase a home. Now, think about it. If he's able to then say, okay, you're going to get 50-year mortgages, you're going to have the young generation purchase homes like crazy. Think about all the automobile sales. I mean, the car sales are going to go through the roof. So the manufacturers in this country, they're going to reap the benefit of all of this. And the people are going to have new cars. They're going to feel really good. And it's going to make the entire economic system take off. And this is all going to happen right before the midterms, which is going to destroy the deep state and the central bankers. Now, this doesn't mean they're going to not fight back. It doesn't mean that they're not going to try to down the economy, because as you could see, they're pushing riots with what is happening with ICE. I do believe they'll probably take this to the next level, because you can see what Europe is doing right now. They're now making trade deals with India, trying to get around what Trump has done with the U.S. with tariffs and everything like that. and they don't want a peace deal with Ukraine. So eventually what they'll probably try to do is they'll probably try to have some type of cyber attack to try to bring us into war to hopefully stop everything that Trump is doing. But I do believe Trump already knows the playbook. He already knows and understands that this is what they're trying to do. And this is why he started the parallel economic system, because it can compete with the central bank system and the banks itself. So this is going to be a major problem for them in the long run. Yes, in the short run, if they're able to do this, it will look scary, but I do believe that it won't last. I mean, they tried to do this during COVID. During COVID, and if you remember going back to Davos when George Soros says, the stock market is overheating, it's ripe to come down, they were trying to crash the economy right in the beginning of COVID, but it failed big time. They had a huge sell-off, but everyone was looking at the market going, why is it coming down? This makes no sense whatsoever. They were trying to force it. If they try to force a financial collapse by having a cyber attack on the financial institutions, I don't believe it's going to work the way they think it's going to work, because Trump, he already has billions, almost trillions of dollars in the new system that could be used to assist the entire economy here in the United States. And I'm not even including the gold that we have. I'm not even including the cryptocurrency that we have. I'm not even including any of that. So once again, you could see that this is not going to work out the way the central bankers think it's going to work out. And it's going to leave them in a very, very tough position. And Trump definitely will have all the leverage in the end. But you could see that he is now 5 steps ahead of them. He's moving forward with his economic plan, and it's just going to get better and better for this country. And soon we're going to see his entire system move us into a place that nobody ever thought was possible. And the fake news won't even be able to spin it, because if you're experiencing an economy that's absolutely incredible, it doesn't matter what the fake news says, because you're going to say it doesn't make sense. Because fuel costs are very low. I'm getting tax money back. I'm not even paying income tax. Credit card, it's basically now at 10% interest rate. So that's giving me a little bit of a breathing room. Interest rates are around 2% or whatever they're going to be. That's incredible. So once again, this is, I don't believe what the fake news is saying. I'm experiencing Trump's economy. It's benefiting everybody in this country. And this is when the central bank, the deep state players, and everyone else, this is when they lose. Because once people see it, they can't forget it. And they're going to want more of it. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.